All right, here is an update on my truck. So out there is where I took a video for my Cherokee on my channel, but it's blocked off right now. I was going to take a video in the same spot, but I guess not. So I'm as close as I can get. The Cherokee's gone. It took a dump on me. I think the wiring harness fried or something. I don't know. There ended up being some crazy electrical issue with it. The floors were rusted out real bad, and I didn't want to deal with it. So I tore the axles, suspension, everything I could out of the Cherokee. Everything I could put on this, I kept. Everything I couldn't, I either parted out or I just sold with the shell of the Cherokee when it got towed away. So I put the Cherokee axles in here. I wanted to keep those because I already had 456 gears in them. Yukon posi traction rear end, and then the front has a Spartan helical LSD. Unfortunately, I couldn't take the AW4 out of the Cherokee. It won't connect to the 2.5 in this truck. So all I really need to make it four-wheel drive is a transmission. I have the front drive line. I kept that. I have an extra transfer case. It's really just a transmission, I guess, and I can make it 4x4 since the axle's in there. So I put the axles in. In the process of putting the rear axle in, it flipped. By default, it flipped it to spring over instead of spring under. You also have to cut the leaf spring perches off of the top of the Cherokee axle. This is the Chrysler 8 1/4, and you have to move them inward. I believe it was 3/4 of an inch on either side. I think the base of the springs on the Cherokee Comanches is 42 inches out, like in and out from the center of the axle, and the Cherokee's is like 43.5. So I think it came out to 3/4 of an inch on either side. I took the leaf spring perch, moved it in, welded it back on, and that gained me like a 6-inch lift. I got shackles for another little bit, and I've got airbags in there to keep the leaf springs, keep the back from sagging. Keeps it sitting real nice. And then I had brand new Iron Rock off-road 6.5-inch coils in the Cherokee, so I put those in there. And then with the 3/4-inch pucks, and it made it perfect, I think. The ground I'm sitting on isn't perfectly level, but when it's on flat ground, it sits real nice. Tiny bit low in the front, which I'm okay with. The 3/4-inch spacers made up nicely for the weight of the bumper and the winch. So I've got the Bilstein 5100s from the Cherokee swapped over. The long arms that were on the Cherokee wouldn't work because this is an 86. There's right up where the cross member goes, because of the design of the Iron Rock 3 links, there's fuel lines and brake lines that are in the way, right up in there somewhere. Basically, that it just won't allow the Iron Rock setup to work without redoing the hard lines for the fuel and the brakes all the way around. You know, it could be done, but it's just not worth it. There's other styles. I believe the Rough Country long arm won't be a problem, and the Rusty's long arms won't either, because those arms mount under the cross member, whereas the problem I ran into with the Iron Rock is the cross member's here, and then the left upper control arm actually mounts above it, like recessed above the frame, which is nice for optimum ground clearance, but that's what made it problematic here. So I just went with the Core 4x4 adjustable short arms, and then I went with the Rough Country drop brackets. I have also found that the little brace, the 45-degree brace that supports from here to here, doesn't just bolt right onto the Comanche. Again, I don't know if this is because this is an 86 and maybe there's a design change from 87 and up, or if it's just a frame difference, but they can be made to work, and I'm still working on that. Just a little bit of trimming and stuff, and I think I can still get those in there. I'm not really too worried about it since I don't plan on wheeling this. You know, I'll go up on gravel roads kind of exploring and stuff, but I don't intend on wheeling this thing just because of the overall condition of it's really good. It's no rust, it's not all beat up, and it's got super low miles. That's about to hit 58,000 original miles. And that is confirmed from the person I got the title from. She knows the whole history of the truck. Other than a tear there, it's the original bench seat. I plan on getting the windows tinted. I had that on my schedule, but interior is super nice. Got the Oracle LED taillights in there. This is a long bed, so I went with the toolbox to kind of fill in that extra length of bed, but I still have a functional amount of bed. But it's nice here because then I can go to the grocery store and I can actually fit like 3 or 4 grocery bags in there, so I don't have to mess around with getting behind the seat. I do have yeah, I've got just a Smitty built 10,000 pound winch on here. This is what was on the Cherokee as well as the bumper. It's just a cheap EAG. I got it on eBay like 5 years ago for super cheap. And honestly, it's been great. I've had no issues. I knocked into a rock really hard once with the Cherokee and bent the mounting brackets. I paid 30 bucks shipped for a new pair of them, and it's been fine ever since. My only complaint is the powder coat likes to chip off real bad on this. The finish isn't very good, but the structural part of it has been solid. I've winched with that Cherokee more times than I could count and never had an issue with it. So for the $275 shipped I paid, I'll take it. It is the 2.5 liter. So my goal at some point, is to source, probably, I think, in order to get it 4x4, my goal is to source a Cherokee with the 2.5 liter, but fuel injected, like a 97 and up, so I can put a fuel injected 2.5 in here for a little bit more power. I think it's like 20 more horsepower. A little bit more power to make up for the extra weight that's on it. I mean, I didn't notice a power difference going from kind of the stock setup to this because of the 456 gears. It had 410s in it. But that would gain me a little more efficiency, a little more power. If I swapped all the OBD2 over, you know, something that's easier to diagnose. And ideally I get one that's 4x4, and then I've got the transmission that I need for the 4x4 swap. I took my little rough country mounts from the Cherokee, put those over. I haven't had a chance to wire these in yet, but they look killer, so why not? I don't know the purpose of that. That was also on the Cherokee. I put it up there and I thought, you know, I kind of like how it looks. I don't know what I will ever use it for, but it's there and I like it, so deal with it. I've got, you can't see it because the toolbox is there, but this is actually a Mopar bed liner. It says Comanche along the back. When I got it, it had some aftermarket one that had been in it its whole life. It was from 1986, but I got this for 40 bucks on Facebook local, and then I sold the one that came out of it for $100. And from the same kit, I bought a canopy also. So I do have, back at home, I have an original Comanche specific canopy. It's not like a Ranger or an S10. It's one that's meant for the Comanches. Paid 100 bucks for that from the same kit. Structurally, it's real nice. There's a couple little leaks, like one up in the back, and there was one up towards the front that I sealed up. I'm in the process of painting it. I sealed it up real nice, and I'm working on just painting it black. It was white. So during the rainy months here in Oregon, which is most of them, I'll probably have the canopy on there, or if we go up in the mountains or something. But as long as it's nice summer, I'll just have the bed open up like that. So when I got this thing, it was bone stock. You know, go back to early first video on my channel, you'll see it, but it was just bone stock, little farm truck for 15 years, and the previous 6 years it had been dead and wasn't running. Front grille was all mangled up, didn't even exist, so that's all been replaced. It is the original paint. It is a Comanche Custom, which is actually, although it's a base model, I kind of like it because they only, to my knowledge, they only called the Custom, they only had the Custom title, I think, in '86. It was the first year they did them, the base model was called a Custom, and then the following years they didn't use the Custom title anymore. So while it is base model, it's kind of unique. 33 inch, so I had 35s on my Cherokee, and I could have made them fit if I wanted to trim a little bit, but I didn't. There's no trimming on this whatsoever. About a 6.5 inch lift total. So I sold the 35s that the Cherokee had with my wheels, and I scooped these up from work. I work at a tire shop, and I was able to get a real killer deal on these wheels and tires because they were used. So fraction of retail price. 15x8 Ultra Crusher with a -18 offset. There's no rubbing anywhere on the frame or the control arms when I turn. I don't believe that it rubs anywhere. I mean, I don't wheel the thing, but sorry, it's real windy out here. So I got 33 1250 15 Falcon Wild Peak AT3s. They still have the little nubbies on them. They're so new, and it came with the 5th matching wheel under there. The tire's a little bit different, but it's also a 33, so if I have to use it, it's functional. I paid like $660 for all 5 wheels and tires. So just thought I'd give you guys an update, kind of a general walkthrough on it. Oh, it is a Chrysler 4-speed. It's the AX4. This had, originally it had the, get in here where the wind's gone. It had the Peugeot BA10 transmission in this originally. And when I bought this thing, I noticed that the transmission underneath looked really clean, like it had been taken off and rebuilt recently or something. And I come to find out from the lady I got the title from, that the transmission had been swapped in brand new when she bought the thing from a friend at like 41,000 miles with paperwork and everything. And it's the Chrysler AX4, so it's got a better transmission in there. Fires up, shifts fine. Runs a little bit loud. Fires up. No, got a little bit of a tick to it. I don't know if it's from the engine sitting so long, but you know, I don't expect this thing to run like a Toyota or anything, but it works. Doesn't have AC because it's the base model, but the heat works real nice. I put a new radio in there. I only have 1 speaker for now. I've got no power to these wires. I haven't figured that out. I might mess with it, I might not. I might just throw speakers in the back because these are pre-wired in the back. So maybe if I just throw a speaker back there, I'll call it a day. Got sliding glass, that works nice. Does have the headliner in there. The red material was all sagging off, so I ripped it off. And at some point, I'm going to take the actual headliner out and put some new material on it if I can keep it in one piece. So that'll be nice, but otherwise, that's my turd. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, a couple other things I forgot here. I took the Ironman 4x4 Fab track bar, put that in there, and then it still has the HD steering, 1-ton steering from Rough Country in there. I dig it. I think it works great. I haven't had any problems with it. The track bar is super solid. It also has a brace that bolts to those little holes, and it supports itself across to the frame on the other side, but it interferes with this weird little like motor mount shock. That thing right there. So I got to work on I'm going to do a little bit of modifying to the bracket and that to make it all work, just to support the thing. Anything to help keep the unibody from wanting to crack there. I do have some bumper tie-in brackets that come back to here. I need to put those on still. I threw the bumper on just in a hurry. And I have a steering box stabilizer I need to put back there. I haven't plugged in the fog lights yet. So I need to plug those in. Oh, and then if you didn't watch the video on the Cherokee, the 8 1/4 axle back here, I put Liberty disc brakes on as well. So it's set up pretty good, other than just kind of being gutless, but you know, it's a 4-cylinder. That's what it does. It bees gutless. And there's my little dashboard piggy. He's been in every one of my cars for probably the last 15 years. Sweet. See ya.